Mataji, it's verse 1 to 14, chapter 21.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Mataji, can you put here Devnagari Mataji? I cannot recite from English, Mataji. Sorry. If you can, otherwise I will have a look my book. It's okay.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This evening's reciters are Nikhil Prabhuji for English and Gaurangi Devi Mataji for Sanskrit. And they'll be reading from Canto 3, Chapter 21, verse 1 to 14. Mataji, can you please also start with invocation, please? Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, isn't it chapter summary today?
Summary today?
By Srilalita Susevini Mataji. It's Monday 13th.
Okay. So then...
Yes.
okay. So do you want them to read the other one still then?
So we read the last
chapter.
one.
Okay. So yes, my mistake. It's it's 3. Yes, my mistake. You're right. It's Canto 3, chapter 20, verse 36 to 53.
Canto 3, chapter... Yeah.
Yes, you are right. My mistake. Thank you.
20 and then...
36 to 53.
1 second, Devanagari.
I think it's changing from Wednesday, the verses. Gaurangi Mataji, sorry about this. So, but yes, would you be okay?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mataji, for Devnagari. Okay, Mataji. Shall I start, Mataji?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Or with the invocation 3 times, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नैकाथते जयति शालिनी पादपद्मं घनात्यमोकरतलेन पतत्पतङ्गं मद्यं विषीदति बृहत्सदनभरवीतं सन्ते वदिष्ठैर्मलशशि खसमोहा.
O beautiful woman, when you strike the bouncing ball against the ground with your hand again and again, your lotus feet do not stay in one place. Oppressed by the weight of your full-grown breasts, your waist becomes fatigued, and your clear vision grows dull, as it were. Pray braid your comely hair.
इति सयन्तनि सन्ध्यामासुराः प्रमदायतिं प्रलोभयन्ति जगृहुर्मत्वा मूढधियाः स्त्रियम्.
The Asuras, clouded in their understanding, took the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman, showing herself in her alluring form, and they seized her.
प्रहस्य भावगम्भीरं जिघ्रन्त्यात्मा नमात्मना कान्त्या ससर्ज भगवान् गन्धर्वाप्सरासं गणान्.
With a laugh full of deep significance, the worshipful Brahma then evolved by his own loveliness, which seemed to enjoy itself by itself, the hosts of Gandharvas and Apsaras.
विससर्जतनुं तं वैजो उत्सना कान्तिमतिं प्रियां Taibai chadaduha pritya Viswavasu Purugamaha.
After that, Brahma gave up that shining and beloved form of moonlight. Vishwavasu and other Gandharvas gladly took possession of it.
Srishtva bhuta pisachamsa bhagvat atmata tandrina digvasasu mukta kisan vichachamilayat driso.
The glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth the ghosts and fiends, but he closed his eyes when he saw them stand naked with their hair scattered.
Jagri hustadvisishtam tam jribhana sankyam tanum prabhu nidra mindriya vikledo yaya bhutesu drishyate yeno chistan andha sayanti tamun madam prayachate.
The ghosts and hobgoblins took possession of the body thrown off in the form of yawning by Brahma, the creator of the living entities. This is also known as the sleep which causes drooling. The hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of as insanity.
Urja sontam manyamana atmanam bhavavana jaha sadhyanagrinan pitriganan parochena sijat prabhu.
Recognizing himself to be full of desire and energy, the worshipful Brahma, the creator of the living entities, evolved from his own invisible form, from his navel, the hosts of sadhyas and pitas.
Ta atma sargatam kayam pitaraha pratipidire sadhyabhyasa pitribhyasa kavayo yadvitanvati.
The pitas themselves took possession of the invisible body, the source of their existence. It is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in the rituals offer oblations to the sadhyas and pitas in the form of their departed ancestors on the occasion of Shraddh.
Sorry, I couldn't see. Okay, thank you. Siddhan vidyadharam saiva tirodhanena so asrijat tebhyo adatta matma namanta dhanakya madbhutam.
Then Lord Brahma, by his ability to be hidden from vision, created the Siddhas and Vidyadharas and gave them that wonderful form of his own, known as the Antardhan.
Sakinnaran kimpu purusan pratyatmena srijat prabhu manyannat atmanatma namatma bhasam vilokayan.
One day, Brahma, the creator of the living entities, beheld his own reflection in the water, and admiring himself, he evolved Kimpurushas as well as Kinnaras out of that reflection.
Te tu tajjagrihu-rupam tyaktam yat parameshtina mithuni bhuya gayantas tastabme vasi karma vihu.
The Kimpurushas and Kinnaras took possession of that shadowy form left by Brahma. That is why they and their spouses sing his praises by recounting his exploits at every daybreak.
Dehin ve bhogavata syayano bahuchintaya sargeno pachite krudut sarsarjaha tadadvapu.
Once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length. He was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apace, and in a sullen mood he gave up that body too.
Ye ahiyanta mutaha kesa ahayasya tinga jagire sarpaha prasarapopataha krura naga bhogoru kandharaha.
O dear Vidura, the hair that dropped from that body transformed into snakes, and even while the body crawled along with its hands and feet contracted, there sprang from it ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded.
Sa atmanamanyamanaha kritakrityamivatmabhu tadamanun sasarjanti manasaloka bhavanan.
One day Brahma, the self-born, the first living creature, felt as if the object of his life had been accomplished. At that time he evolved from his mind the Manus who promote the welfare activities of the universe.
Tebhyaha so asrijat suryam puram purusamatmavan tan drishtya pura srishtaha susam samsuha prajapatim.
The self-possessed creator gave them his own human form. On seeing the Manus, those who had been created earlier, the demigods, the Gandharvas, and so on, applauded Brahma, the Lord of the universe.
Aho etajjagad srashtaha sukritam vatati kritam pratisthitaha kriya yasmin sakamannama damahe.
They prayed, O Creator of the universe, we are glad. What you have produced is well done. Since ritualistic acts have now been established soundly in this human form, we shall all share the sacrificial oblations.
Tamasa vidyaya yukto yogena susamadhina risid kesaha sasarja vimataha prajaha.
Having equipped himself with austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion, accompanied by dispassion, and having controlled his senses, Brahma, the self-born living creature, evolved great sages as his beloved sons.
Tebhyasaikaiskasaha swasya dehasyam sa madadajaha yattat samadhi yogir dvidita vidya viraktimat.
To each one of these sons, the unborn creator of the universe gave a part of his own body, which was characterized by deep meditation, mental concentration, supernatural power, austerity, adoration, and renunciation.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji. You were amazing, Mataji. Last minute changes. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you.
Sorry, Mataji, I cannot read properly. Sorry.
You were
Sometimes
fine.
I
Yeah,
did
that's fine.
this,
Thank you.
Mataji, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, all Devdi, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhu, thank you so much for your beautiful recitations, both Sanskrit and translation. And thank you for all the devotees who have joined. Thank you for joining in this auspicious month of Kartik. We are reading Bhagavatam together and glorifying the Lord. So hopefully he will be pleased. Today we're going to sum up chapter 20 of Canto 3. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so before we start, I just want to do some prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदन्तस्थो भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुखं करोति वचलं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. Thank you so much. So, because we have done all the Sanskrit translations and Sanskrit recitations, I will just go through the whole summary because it's good to go through the translations again. Obviously, we cannot read in this short time all the purports. Purports are even more nectarian, but we can go through all the translations. And then wherever we feel that we can discuss and expand, where we can expand on those verses. So basically, we can see that this chapter is about conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, where Vidura is actually asking and inquiring Maitreya Rishi to enlighten him about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord and give him transcendental knowledge. So this conversation between Vidura and Maitreya, actually, who's asking how is it that we are hearing about this, is because Shaunaka Rishi inquired Suta Goswami in Naimisharanya about the whole Bhagavatam and the conversation, and he is actually asking. Shri Shaunaka inquired, O Suta Goswami, after the earth was again situated in its orbit, what did Swayambhuva Manu do to show the path of liberation to persons who were to take birth later on? So he's asking that previously in the previous chapters of this canto, we saw that Lord Vraha took his form and how he protected the earth and placed it safely in the orbit. So we read about that and how Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were born and what happened to them and how they fought and how Lord fought with them. We read about those pastimes, and now he wants to know that what happened after that. Okay, this is very beautiful that Lord has taken his first form. Now what happened after that? How did the creation actually take place, and how did Swayambhuva Manu do the rest of it? Like how did he populate the world? Then Shaunaka Rishi inquired about Vidura actually, who was a great devotee and friend of Lord Krishna, and who gave up the company of his elder brother because the latter, along with his sons, played tricks against the desires of the Lord. So he's inquiring about the great devotee of the Lord, who we know Vidura is a great devotee of the Lord, because Vidura is different from a pure devotee of the Lord, because Vidura was born from the body of Vyasadeva, his son, and he's not less than him. And thus he accepted the lotus feet of Krishna wholeheartedly, who was attached to his devotees. So because Vidura is so much attached to Krishna, he always tried to convince his brother to not go against Pandavas, and always used to give some very wise advice to his brothers, because he was a pure devotee. He is a pure devotee of the Lord, and he cared for his brothers also, that they should not fall into wrong direction. So tried his best to guide them, but unfortunately his advice was not taken, and he was asked to leave, and he was humiliated and criticized. So then he realized at some point that I think I have done enough of politics and I have been involved in so much. I should now leave and look for spiritual realization. So Vidura was purified of all possession by wandering in sacred places, and at last he reached Haridwar. So he was wandering in sacred places and he purified himself. This is what we also do. We try to go to the place of pilgrimages and purify ourselves, and then, because this is the mentality of most of us, that the more we go to the place of pilgrimage, the more we purify our body and mind, which is right. It is there in the ancient yugas also, but the point is to also make the place where we are a spiritual place, or a place of pilgrimage. And we know from Bhagavatam only that wherever there is a pure devotee of the Lord, wherever they are, and Prabhupada has obviously established his concenters, those all places are actually places of pilgrimage. So, however, here Vidura said that he was feeling that he's done so much of bad deeds and he needs to purify himself from this passion and this mode. So he purified himself by wandering in these places of pilgrimage all over the sacred places, and then finally he reached Haridwar, where he met the great sage who knew the science of spiritual life, and he inquired from him, who is Maitreya. Shaunaka Rishi therefore asked, what did more Vidura inquire from? What did now Vidura is asking Maitreya? Let's see. Shaunaka inquired about the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. There must have been many narrations of the spotless pastimes of the Lord. The hearing of such narrations is exactly like bathing in the water of Ganges, for it can free one from all sinful reactions. So Shaunaka, look at the mood Shaunaka is asking questions from Suta Goswami. Itself shows how should be the mood of a listener. How should the questions, what are the questions of benefit for humans? How should we inquire about spiritual topics? That this should be the mood. He's saying that look at the words he's using. He's saying there must have been many narrations of spotlight pastimes of the Lord. So he wants to hear about the Lord. And it is said that the ordinary things we hear, we forget the next day, or maybe they agitate us, they make us worry when we hear about gossips on what happened there, what happened here, who's having problems. We for temporarily we feel joy in hearing bad about others, but when we hear about narrations of the pastimes of the Lord, which are spotless, actually we feel like hearing more and more, and it makes us it purifies our existence, purifies our mind, and actually calms us down, and we want to hear more and more about these narrations. But the ordinary topics, we don't want to hear them much, because they may usually make us they hamper our growth, both materially and spiritually. They do no good to us. But here Shaunaka Rishi's mood, he's saying, please tell me about the narration, spotless pastimes of the Lord. The hearing of such narration is exactly like bathing in the water of the Ganges, for it can free us from all sinful reactions. He knows about the glories of the Lord, and hearing process is so important that hearing such narration is exactly like bathing the water of Ganges. So even if you're not in a place of pilgrimage, but we are hearing Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita regularly, it frees us from the sinful reaction. It acts like a place of pilgrimage. O Suta Goswami, all good fortune to you. Please narrate the activities of the Lord, which are all magnanimous and worth glorifying. What sort of devotee can be satiated by hearing the nectarian pastimes of the Lord? So yeah, such a beautiful verse, where it glorifying the Lord and saying that please narrate me the glories of the Lord. I want to hear. So this should be our mood, asking questions from our spiritual masters, from sannyasis, from Vaishnavas. We should not inquire about material activities, material life, but how can I make my 2-bedroom flat 3-bedroom flat, or how can I get a better job, or how can I look better. All those things we should inquire, or our problems, we should inquire about topics related to the Lord, because in those topics and in those pastimes we will find the answers to our problems also, and we will be, our mind's consciousness will become pure. So this should be our mood of inquiring. On being asked to speak by the great sages of Naimisharanya, the son of Namarshana, Shuta Goswami, whose mind was absorbed in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, said, "Please hear what shall I now speak." Suta Goswami continued, Vidura, the ascendant of Bharata, was delighted to hear the story of the Lord, who, having assumed by his own divine potency from the form of boar has enacted the sport of lifting the earth from the bottom of the ocean and indifferently killing the demons of Hiranyaksha. Vidura then spoke to the sage as follows. So Vidura actually, Maitreya Rishi told Vidura about the story of the boar incarnation or the Vraha avatar of the Lord, and the killing of Hiranyaksha. Now Vidura said, since you know the matters inconceivable to us, tell me, O holy sage, what did Brahma do to create the living beings after evolving the Prajapatis, the progenitors of living beings? So now, Maitreya, I actually in second canto in Bhagavatam, in first canto also and in second canto, both there is already mention of Brahma, already mention of Mahavishnu, already mention of how the creation was done in the second canto also. But this is how we actually, whenever we explain something or a spiritual matter is explained, we actually start from the beginning. We try to explain again and again the topics related to the Lord, how it happened, and then Maitreya Rishi is actually again going to narrate the same thing that he's already told about creation. So he's going to tell that again, and then he's going to answer the question that Vidura asked, the how Prajapatis, the progenitor of living beings, how they evolved, and how Brahma instructed the Prajapatis to evolve and to populate the world. He's going to tell this again because like we know that the pastimes of the Lord, the narrations of the Lord, we never get bored of that, and we always want to go back and glorify the Lord again. So Vidura inquired, how did Prajapatis, such progenitors of living entities such as Marichi and Swayambhuva Manu, created according to the instruction of Brahma, and how did they evolve this manifested universe? So Vidura is asking that, okay, he knows that Prajapatis, who are also known as the progenitors of the living entities, and the example has been given of Marichi and Swayambhuva Manu. These are the Manus. And the name Manushya, that is used for the living entities, for human beings, it comes from Manus. Manushya coming from Manu. So Manus, there's a also Manu Samhita, which tells us about the various ashrams, how should we live our life, and division of various varna ashrams. So that was actually written by and spoken by and created by the Manus, so that we can follow that because we come from Manus. So he inquired that how did these Manus and these Prajapatis created and populated the universe on the instruction of Brahma? Did they evolve the creation in conjunction with their respective wives? Did they remain independent in their action, or did they all jointly produce it? So he is asking, like, how was the creation? How actually the creation happened? I'm curious. Was it something spiritual, or was it? What was the reason behind it, and what was the process of creation? Maitreya said, when the equilibrium of the combination of the three modes of nature was agitated by the unseen activity of living entity, by Mahavishnu, and by force of time, the total material elements were produced. So this is already mentioned in the second canto also, that by the influence of three modes of material nature and Mahat Tattva, unseen activity by Mahat Tattva and by the force of time, so Mahavishnu actually glances on the Mahatattva, how and all the creation that we already in the second canto also we read about it a little bit, how these material elements actually combine, and by the glance of Mahavishnu, how these elements were produced, and then how it actually causes different energies under the influence of the three modes of material nature. The creation happened as impelled by the destiny of the jiva. The false ego, which is of three kinds, evolved from the Mahat Tattva, in which the element of rajas predominates. From the ego in turn evolved many groups of five principles. So we can see here that the rajas predominates there. That's why Brahma, he's the lord of this guna also, rajas, mode of passion, and rajagun, because he's been given this strength, or this power to create, and for the creation we need that passion, to expand. Passion means we want to expand So Brahma was given this this power, and on the instructions of the Lord, he created. So separately unable to produce a material universe, they combined with the help of energy of the Supreme Lord and were able to produce the shining egg. So separately, these elements that Mahavishnu created, actually these elements are not capable of producing the living beings or creating a human being or various forms on various planets. But they have to actually, there has to be some power behind them, and they cannot separately produce anything. So they combine with the help of energy of the Supreme Lord. Without Supreme Lord's energy, without his sanction, without his will, nothing, all the materials of creation, all the elements of creation are just matter. They will not, there will be no power or no spirit to them. So Lord has to do his use his energy to let the creation happen. For over 1,000 years, and the shiny egg lay on the waters of the causal ocean in the lifeless state. Then the Lord entered it as a Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. For 1,000 years, there was nothing that was happening. But then Lord entered in this causal ocean, and this shining egg which lay on the causal ocean, and entered it as a Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. From the navel of the personality of Godhead Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu sprouted a lotus flower, effulgent like 1,000 blazing suns. And this lotus flower is the reservoir of all conditioned souls. We all are actually residing in that late lotus flower, and all the universes or the planetary systems, everything is within that, this effulgent lotus flower. This lotus flower is the reservoir of all conditioned souls, and the first living entity who came out of the lotus flower was the omnipotent Brahma. So who came out of that? So why is it said that Brahma is the creator? Because he was the first living entity, and he came out of that lotus flower. And then he, when that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is lying on the Garbhodak ocean, entered the heart of Brahma, Brahma brought his intelligence to bear. And with intelligence evoked, he began to create the universe as it was before. So we know that at the time of annihilation, what happens that all the souls, whatever consciousness and whatever desires we had, it gets and goes into a dormant state. And when there is again creation, and a new Brahma comes and lives for 100 years. And during his new Brahma's creation, when he creates again, all the souls that were in dormant state, that goes into the Mahavishnu's body, they actually start from where they left their desires and consciousness, and then again they're given body, and again there's a cycle of yugas and kalpas. So a very important point here is that that without Lord's sanction and without Lord's energy, without Lord's blessings, Brahma could not create anything, because Brahma did not even know where he came from. He did not know what is his where is the source of his existence. So first he had to pray for many years in order to meditate, and then he was given this intelligence. See here, it says Garbhodak ocean, and Personality of Godhead, who was lying on the Garbhodak ocean, entered the heart of Brahma. So he entered the heart of Brahma, and then Brahma got his intelligence. Then he realized, because Krishna says, from me comes intelligence, forgetfulness, and remembrance. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहं वेद एव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत् एव vid eva chaham. So from him comes the intelligence, from him comes the ignorance. So he, within the heart of Brahma, he entered, and he gave the intelligence to Brahma that this is how you have to create. He actually was the source of that creation that Brahma did. And with that intelligence, he began to create the universe as it was before. Like I said, when the souls were already there, and then they again came into being. First of all, Brahma created. Now, this is interesting, like how Brahma created all these things, and how everything that we see around us, what came first, and from like how the living entities, different types of bodies, different types of living entities, how they came about. So this is actually very not many people would know about it, that this is how the creation actually happened. So first of all, Brahma created from his shadow the covering of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number and are called Tamishra, Andhatamishra, Tamas, Moha and Mahamoha. So why he had to create the covering of ignorance? Because we the part and parcels of Lord Krishna, we wanted to enjoy separately from him. So in order to fulfill our desire to enjoy separately from Krishna, there has to be some covering of ignorance. There has to be desire, there has to be greed, there has to be lust, there has to be all these coverings, moha, attachment, you know, attachment to the family members, attachment to the body, not knowing that we are soul. So all these coverings has to be there in order for us to come here, to be here. Otherwise, if I know that I am this soul, I would not like to stay here anymore, because then I will know that this is not my identity. But because we all are covered with ignorance and these 5 layers of ignorance, we are here. And then because we wanted to enjoy separately, Krishna made it possible. And Brahma created this layer of ignorance, of five layers of ignorance. Out of disgust, Brahma threw off the body of ignorance, and taking this opportunity, Yakshas and Rakshasas sprang from the possession of the body, which continued to exist in the form of night. Night is a source of hunger and thirst. So we can see that how these, it's beautifully explained in Bhagavatam, how these 3 modes of material nature, how why are they so important for us to understand them, and what are the significance. So we can see that when Brahma was disgusted, frustrated, and not happy with what he created, or he threw off the body. He threw off the body of ignorance, and from his body of ignorance, what happened? Yakshas and Rakshasas were born from that ignorance, from that energy, from that consciousness. Yakshas and Rakshasas were born from that body, and that's why it is called. It is said that. And that it continued to exist in the form of night. So that body of ignorance actually exists in the form of night. That's why it is said that we should not do good. We should not do activities in the night, like not eat or eat late, or go out, or keep our hair open, and so many things are there that we should not be doing at night, because night means we attract that negative energy of yakshas and rakshasas. They are wandering around, and night is a source of hunger and thirst as well. So this is very nicely said in Bhagavatam, like why is night considered as ignorance. Empowered by hunger and thirst, they ran into to devour Brahma from all sides and cried, "Spare him not, eat him up." So this is the consciousness that we usually see around at night also. We go out and we see so many these kind of bad, I would say, these people who would like to take your possessions, or some drug addicts or drunkards, or all these kind of energies, and the souls wander around, and this is how their consciousness is also. Take this thing out of him, grab this thing, kill him. All these negative things or we hear is mostly in the night time. So Brahma, the head of the demigods, full of anxiety, asked them, "Do not eat me, but protect me. You are born from me and have become my sons. Therefore, you are yakshas and rakshasas." So this is the condition of today's world also, that the sons and daughters and the children are not protecting the fathers and mothers, but actually they are trying to scratch them and take things out of them, and just maybe the quality is not there of relationships also. Instead of protecting the elderly, or protecting our parents, we are ignoring those responsibilities as well. He then created the chief demigods, who were shining with the glory of God, goodness. He dropped before them the effulgence of form of daytime, and the demigods sportingly took possession of it. Now there's a contrast. We can see that how he created demigods, he then created the chief demigods, who were shining with the glory of goodness. So here it is the quality that when Brahmaji came into the mode of goodness, then he created the demigods. So demigods comes from the mode of goodness when Brahma was happy. So he dropped before them effulgent form of daytime. Now this daytime, that's why it is said that daytime is the time when demigods and good souls are take possession. So demigods took possession of the daytime. Lord Brahma then gave birth to demons from his buttocks, and they were very fond of sex. Because they were too lustful, they approached him for copulation. So here we say that how demoniac quality and demoniac mindset is. And that they are very fond of sex, they are too lustful, and they have all these ignorant qualities and ignorant mentality in their mind. So this is demons, and it all comes from Brahma's body only. If we note, even the bad and the good, everything is coming from one person only, telling us that everything resides within our consciousness, within our minds. Even if it's good or bad, we give birth to it. We give birth to our bad thoughts. We give birth to demons. We give birth to demigods and that kind of qualities. So we have to look at what kind of consciousness we have, what kind of mode we are in, and how to sustain that mode by practicing Krishna consciousness, by chanting the glories of the Lord, by hearing about his pastimes and associating ourselves with the devotees of the Lord. The worshipful Brahma first laughed at their stupidity, then finding the shameless asuras close upon him, he grew indignant and ran in great haste out of fear. He approached the personality of Godhead who bestows all boons and who dispels the agony of his devotees. And for those who take shelter of his lotus feet, he manifested his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees. And like we know in Bhagavad Gita also, no matter what, even it's not just about atheist or theist people or people who believe in God. The atheist also, when the end time comes, at the time of death, they will be scared. So if they don't believe in God, that's why they're scared. Otherwise they shouldn't be scared of death also. So what is it that they're scared of? Why are they scared of dying? Because they know that something's going to happen now. They remember, they never remember God, they never took shelter of anyone. Now who will they take shelter of? So that's why Krishna, however, says that he accepts us in every situation. Even if we surrender at the end of our life also, he'll still accept it. But why to make it go that long? So Krishna is always there to protect his devotees, and his devotees always take shelter of him. So Brahmaji, being a devotee of the Lord, he took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he knew that Krishna will always forgive. Krishna will always protect his devotees, because he's promised that. Lord Brahma, and Krishna is Bhaktavatsal as well. Lord Brahma, approaching the Lord, addressed him thus: "My Lord, please protect me from these sinful demons who were created by me under your order. They are infuriated by an appetite of sex and have come to attack me." So it also shows us that we, however intelligent we will think that we are the controllers, we can create things, but there is always, in this material world, no one is perfect. There are mistakes made by everyone. Even if we become something really important person, there is a tendency to make mistakes. So that's why we should always remember that we are subordinate to God, and we should follow his orders, and we should always remember him, so that we are protected from Maya, and we're protected from making mistakes. And Lord will definitely give us guidance at the right time. So, my Lord, you are the only one capable of ending the affliction of the distressed and inflicting agony on those who never resort to your feet. The Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, "Cast off this impure body of yours." Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. So now, what happened is that Brahma actually, like I said, no one is perfect in this material world. Although Brahma has got a really, really, really higher position, and he is a devotee of the Lord, and he's following the instruction of the Lord also. But because he got there was a time when he got attracted towards his own creation, towards his own daughter. He had those kind of his consciousness changed, and he got attracted towards his own daughter. Because of that, he became impure as well, his body. So he had to cast off that body. The Lord asked him to cast off his body, and then Brahma casted off his body as well. On the order of the Lord. The body given by Brahma took the form of evening twilight, when the day and night meet at the time which kindles passion. The asuras, who are passionate by nature, dominated as they are by the elements of Rajas, took it for a damsel, whose lotus feet resounded with a tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth, over which shone a girdle. So from Brahma's mode, again Brahma's body, which again became impure in a way, it took a form of a twilight, where night meets a time which kindles passion. So this body is also in the mode of passion, and then it is said that this body of hers that is now there, that took the form of a twilight, and we saw how it looks like. Then this body actually, adorned with dark tresses, she hid herself as it were out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the asuras were infatuated with an appetite of sex. When they saw this beautiful girl, they became infatuated by her, and they actually started asking her, who you are, from where you have come, and you have agitated our minds. This is what they started saying. So whosoever you may be, O beautiful girl, who are fortunate, we are fortunate that we are able to see you. While playing with the ball, you have agitated the mind of all onlookers. So this is how we see that asuras always have this mentality, and we also see that the time is going like the night time is coming, and these kind of thoughts and consciousness starts to build up. The asuras, clouded in their understanding, took the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman, showing herself in her alluring form, and they seized her. Brahma, with a laugh full of deep significance, the worshipful Brahma then evoked by his own loveliness, which seemed to enjoy itself by itself, the hosts of Gandharvas and Apsaras. So then Brahma laughed, and with his smile and with his laugh, and in that form of Brahma, he actually gave birth to and he attracted the appearance of Apsaras and Gandharvas. After that, Brahma gave up that shining and beloved form of moonlight. Vishwavasu and other Gandharvas gladly took possession of it. So we can see that how with different forms and different consciousness and of Brahma, various living creatures were created, and we are in demigods, demons, Gandharvas, Rakshasas, and Apsaras. We are seeing that. The glorious Brahma then next evoked from his sloth the host and finds, but he closed his eyes when he saw them stand naked with their hair scattered. So now he gave a birth to ghosts. The ghosts and hobgoblins took possession of the body thrown off in the form of yawning by Brahma. So we can see that laziness. Just look at the activity that Brahma is doing while maybe he's getting rid of his body in mode of ignorance, or when he's happy in a happy mood, when he's more in mode of goodness, then he's giving birth to demigods. So whatever activity Brahma was doing, in based on that consciousness and mode, he's giving birth to these various forms. This is also known as sleep, which is causing drooling. So here it is said that the sleep, which is known as sleep, which causes drooling. The hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of an insanity. Very important point, that it is usually said that we should, when we sleep at night, if we have like drooling, if we have like saliva drooling and sleep in that position, and it is not considered auspicious. And we get the reference from Bhagavatam itself that when we have this drooling coming out of, and we're in impure state, we haven't taken bath, we are in dirty clothes, and our hair are open, and just all over the place, all these things, untidy environment, we attract ghosts and hobgoblins. These souls like this, they get attracted because this is their possession, this is where they reside, this is where they are born. So this is their place. So we should keep ourselves very pure and clean. And we get the reference here that hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure. Even the food that we keep for many days, it becomes impure because it is attacked by these ghosts. We can't see from our naked eyes, but we should eat food also, offer it to the Lord, and then if possible, eat it as soon as possible, not leave it for many days. Recognizing himself to be in full of desire and energy, the worshipful Brahma, the creator of the living entities, evolved from his own invisible form, from his navel, the host of sadhyas and pittas. The pittas themselves took possession of the invisible body, the source of their existence. It is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in the rituals from offer oblations to the sadhyas and pittas. in the form of ancestors on the occasion of Shraddha. So we can see here from the Brahma's navel, he gave birth to Sadhyas and Pitas. So Pitas are also our ancestors who have departed. But then these Pitas actually took the form of invisible body. That is why it is said that they are there, but they need our rituals, our sacrifices and rituals. We have to do the pindadan that we read in at the time of someone's passing away. We do pindadan so that they can get nourishment, and because they don't have a body, they get a body from our sacrifice and from our rituals that we do during the time of Shraddha. So we have to help our ancestors in that way also, which is already mentioned here. Then Lord Brahma, by his ability to be hidden from vision, created the Siddhyas and Vidyadharas and gave them that wonderful form of his known as Antardhana. One day Brahma, the creator of the living entities, beheld his own reflection in the water, and admiring himself, he evolved Kim Purushas as well as Kinnaras out of that reflection. So this is how Kim Purushas and Kinnaras were born, when Brahma was looking at his own reflection in the water and admiring himself. The Kim Purushas and Kinnaras took possession of that shadowy form left by Brahma. That is why they and their spouse sing his praises by recounting his exploits at every daybreak. Once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length. Now we can see that various occasions how these different type of living entities are created. Once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length, he was very concerned that the work of the creation had not proceeded apace, and in a sullen mood he gave up that body too. So he was dissatisfied, and he thought he's become unsuccessful in creating the creation properly. He was not satisfied in various occasions, and here he was just lying stretching his full body, and he thought he should give up his body. His mood was not right, and he thought he's unsuccessful. Oh dear Vidura, the hair that dropped from that body transformed into snakes, and even while the body crawled along with its hands and feet contracted, these sprang from its ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded. So the nagas, the serpents, and that we see, this family of nagas and serpents, where do they come from? They come from Brahma's body when he gave up his body in dissatisfaction. From which part of his body? From the hair that dropped from his body when he gave up his body came the nagas. So that's why the hair, they took form of these nagas and serpents. One day Brahma, the self-born, the first living creator, felt as if the object of his life has been accomplished. Now, finally, he's feeling that he has done enough creation. He has created most of the different type of living entities, and he was feeling satisfied that, okay, I have created what I wanted to create. At that time, he evolved from his mind the Manus, because now he feels he's created. He felt he's created enough. And he should stop. At that time, from his mind, the Manus who promote the welfare activities of the universe were created. So then he created the Manu. So Manu come from Brahma's mind. The self-possessed creator gave them his own human form. On seeing the Manus, those who had been created earlier, the demigods, the Gandharvas, and so on, applauded Brahma, the Lord of the universe. So now the Manus are created, and he gave them his own form, like human being. So in that form, like in his own form, Manus were born from his mind, and because demigods were already created, Gandharvas are already created, they applauded Brahma for starting this Manu, this creation of human beings as well, because from Manus we will come. They prayed, O creator of the universe, we are glad that you have produced what you have produced is well done. Since ritualistic acts have now been established soundly in this human form, we shall all share the sacrificial oblations. So then various sacrifices were introduced, and they were encouraged for the satisfaction of the Lord. Having equipped himself with austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion, accompanied by passion, and having controlled his senses, Brahma, the self-born living creature, evolved great sages as his beloved sons. And then comes from his mind and body, he created these various sages also. I think they were 11 sons that he created, and they have various names. And in the next chapters, we're going to read about them in detail. To each one of these sons, the unborn creator of the universe gave a part of his own body, which was characterized by deep meditation. So what part of body, like from his part of his body, like someone will get more mental concentration, someone got supernatural power, someone got austerity, someone was good in looks, someone was good in renunciation. So these different qualities that Brahma had, he gave those qualities to all these sons that were of his creation in the universe. And this is how this chapter ends, and the conversation between Shaunaka, his inquiry from Suta Goswami about the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. We know how Brahma actually created from his own body. He gave up his body, then again he created, again gave up his body. How from a different consciousness and mental state of his body, different living entities were created. And if we read the purports, then we will get to know in detail from Prabhupada's purports, like I'm saying, that what should be our consciousness. So it also gives us a lesson that whatever consciousness we create, or whatever consciousness we have during creation, the same kind of soul or same kind of energy will come out, like same kind of soul will come into being. That's why the consciousness during the creation is very important. Like, how is it God conscious? Is it in mode of passion? Is it, what mood is it? So that's why we can see the moods, different moods, giving rise to different kinds of living entities. So that, and the timing is also considered here. What time ignorance prevails, at what time goodness prevails, what time passion is at peak. So all these things, the various three modes of material nature are also described very nicely in the creation process itself. And we can see the influence of these three modes of material nature so much, so that even Brahma there was a time when he also got attracted to his own daughter. So yes, and another important point is that we should never forget that whatever we do, whatever intelligence we've got, whatever capabilities and skills we've got, it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the Lord, and under his direction we should do everything. So Brahma, whatever he created, he did not create on his own with his own intelligence, because if we don't surrender to a higher authority, we may create chaos in the society. We may create souls full of ignorance, or we may create children full of ignorance, or there has to be hand of God in whatever we do. And we should take whatever activity we are doing in this material world, also we should always take shelter of the Lord and take his guidance, and take guidance of our gurus and acharyas, and see how should we proceed in whatever endeavor we're doing, whatever activity we are doing in our lives. We should see what God says about it, what Krishna says about it, what system he established, and follow our gurus, and listen to our gurus, because that's what Brahma did. So for Brahma, he was the first living creature, and he saw Lord in front of him who's instructing him to do something, and he followed his advice, and that's why he was successful in creation. So in the same way, we should always try to serve, and whatever we want to do, we should take advice of our guru, and they will be able to navigate our life, and then we will be able to successfully carry out the instructions, and make our life successful in a spiritual way, so that we can go back to Godhead. So this is another important point from the whole chapter, that how should we carry out the instructions, and how Brahma carried out the instructions of the Lord. We should also do the same, and never take ourselves as the proprietor, or as the owner, or as the doer of anything, because we are not. Otherwise we make mistakes, and then we have to go back to Krishna anyway to ask for his shelter. Hare Krishna. With that, I will end. If there is any question and reflection, or if I've said anything wrong, please forgive me. And please, you can share your thoughts and reflections about today's chapter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, my question is that, Pindadan
Yes.
rituals are performed. Is that to liberate the forefathers from Pitruloka?
Nice question, Mataji. Thank you. It is very nicely explained in Garud Puran also, if you've heard about it. So Pinddan, actually this has been said as a necessity for everyone because um, it is said that they don't have a body whenever our ancestors leave their body, they don't have a new body. So in order for them to get a new body for a new birth, so that they can now travel and take another form in someone's womb, they need a body before doing that also, because they travel, and they're someone has to decide where they have to go, hell, heaven, and the karma balance and all that. They need a body, they don't have body. So when we do the pind dan, they get what do we call it, um, they 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 get the body is established from the pindan that we do. They get nourishment, yes, they get nourished, and then the new body is formed, because body is gone now, the body has died, it has been burnt. So they don't have a body, they only have a subtle body and soul. So the pindan will give them a new fresh body, and then they can proceed their journey. So that is all I know, Mataji, but in detail, um I think what you're asking is they where they are they at Pitralok,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
that is quite that is something that I don't know, Mataji, because um, in Pitralok also not everyone goes there. This is a destination like Swarglok, Pitralok, and then Narak, and all these different planetary systems. So based on our karmas, it is decided where we should stay, how long we should stay, and then we should take birth again on this planet. So Pitralok is also another planet where all the ancestors go, but not everyone goes there. I mean, not all the, or not everyone's fathers, mothers, and siblings will go to Pitralok. Some of them will come back and take another birth immediately. Some of them, based on their karmas balance, some of them have to stay at certain, maybe Pitralok for some years, and then they are given another chance to come back. So it's like that. So it's not a permanent place for everyone. Otherwise, we all will be in Pitralok. We all will become Pitras of someone after dying.
Okay.
So
So, also, they say that those who chant the Mahamantra, they don't have to perform this Pindadan for their ancestors.
yes, Mataji, that's correct actually. That is what Prabhupada also says. But the condition is that we are chanting without offense, and we are following strictly what our gurus say and what is instructed. Like if we are following them properly and we are chanting properly nicely, we are very our sadhana is strong, we are fully surrendered to our guru, sadhu shastra, then we don't have to worry about anything. But because we are at a very initial stage, we may neglect, this is a duty towards them, so we don't want to neglect the duty also. That's the thing. I mean, there is always a conflict between this, with whether we should do or not. But I feel that this is this is a duty to them. So this is a duty towards them, and I'm still learning. If I talk about myself, I would prefer doing Mahamantra chanting kirtan for them. If like my father passed away, so I read Bhagavatam to him. I mean, obviously the soul, and Bhagavad Gita until the rituals happened for 13 days. After that also I used to do chanting, kirtans and all those things, because he will get the benefit, he will get the ancestors, they hear it and they actually ask for it because it nourishes them. But I would also do the rituals and the duties, because we don't know how much pure we are, and that's the thing. So I just think that I'm not at that level yet that I neglect these rituals.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Mataji, for that. But also one more question. So, we got three Vishnus, right? Mahavishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu, and Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So, is the Garbhodaksha Vishnu the maintainer of the universe?
So, Mataji, the maintainer is the Kshirodakasha Vishnu.
Kshirodaksha
Yes,
Vishnu. Okay.
Kshirodakasha Vishnu. Why? Because he enters the atoms, all the atoms of the universe. And then why is he called maintainer? Because he sits within our hearts and he guides us throughout our journey, throughout our lives. And then if I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, please correct me, whoever is on this call. He resides within our heart and he maintains us. He is the maintainer. Because Mahavishnu creates the cosmic manifestation and he gives birth to Brahma.
Yeah.
And Garbhodakasha Vishnu comes from him. And from Garbhodakasha Vishnu comes Brahma. And then Brahma creates all these planetary systems and all that. And then Kshirodakasha Vishnu enters all these universes and super soul and the souls and atoms. And he actually guides throughout our life. Yes, Mother. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And I might be making mistakes.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Krishna Mataji, who is Karnodakasha Vishnu?
So Karnodakasha Vishnu is Mahavishnu.
Okay.
Yes, it's another name for him because he lies down in the Karan Ocean. Sorry?
Is the Keshu Ocean, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
Causation. Yes. So he is also Karan because he is the reason, cause behind all causes.
Yes.
Cause behind all causes. He creates the universe and the manifestation. That's why he's called Karanodakasha Vishnu, who resides in the Karan Ocean. And he's also called Mahavishnu because Maha means from him comes everything else.
Okay.
So then Garbhodakasha and Kshirodakasha Vishnu. Kshirodakasha Vishnu, Kshir ocean. He lies in a Kshir ocean. That's why it's called Kshirodakasha Vishnu. And yes.
Okay, Mataji, another kind of question I wanted to ask was about this creation. This particular chapter refers to different mentalities of Brahmaji, and as he sheds them, various entities are created.
Yes.
So this happens at the dawn of every Brahma's day, I guess.
Yes,
It's Brahma's day,
yes.
Brahma's night, so everything goes into
Yes.
absolution, and then okay, and so there are several Brahmajis, and then there are several universes, I guess.
Yes, many universes, many Brahmajis, and each universe has Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh.
Okay, because the process seems just this particular chapter in itself is looks really intense.
Yes.
At how the creation process is. So yeah, and obviously further chapters show that as well. Okay,
Definitely.
thank you. That clarifies it.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Jhanu Kanya Mataji has something to say. Jhanu Kanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, I know it's late. This thing about Pitri Puja and all that, and trying to save your ancestors, when you are actually trying to prepare yourself for your ending and your rebirth or not, you've got such a burden to see to your ancestors. If they haven't prepared themselves, why we have to be so burdened to look after them as well? This is, if it's this cycle of performance and action and reaction and all that.
Yes, very interesting.
This is very, very unfair, isn't it? And why is it, and how is it, how does it work? What does it gain us to pray for our ancestors and offer all these sacrifices and things like that? Does it make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I understand what you're saying, Balaji. But the thing is that because they were part of our family and Krishna made this bond like mother, father, and it's a family. So the duty of a putra or putri or pati or patni, if we look at the meanings of these words, it means that someone who can take their, for example, putra. So the meaning of it is to protect the father from going to hell. Or for patni also, this is the meaning. For pati also, this is the meaning, to protect the wife from falling, protect the husband from falling. So, and to even Prabhupada said that if you can't have if you can't have Krishna conscious kids, then you don't have kids, which means that the reason why we have these relations is to take them to God, to help them go back to Godhead. So it means we have a responsibility towards our family. It's not like I'll go back to God and I'll do my own chanting and all and just leave my family members. No, we pray for them also, and they also get benefit because there's blood relation. There is a relation. There's a strong karma with that family members. That's why we are together. We're brought together. So we have this responsibility, this duty to look after them. For example, if someone dies in the family, it is my responsibility because my connection was with that soul. My duty is to help them after their journey, also when they've left their body, so that they can, now they don't have anyone, they're alone and they are doing their rest of the journey on their own. If they were already a devotee, if we were devotee, were practicing for many, many years, Krishna will look after them. But what if they're not? And then there's a whole scripture about it, Garud Puran, where it is said that how is the journey, how long it is, they have to travel to get to Yamaraj, and then if they are not done good deeds, then they are beaten, and also they don't have anyone, they cry out for help. And because they don't have anyone at that time, no relatives, no one, they look down at the relatives. Okay, this is my son, this is my daughter, and then they try to reach out to us through various means so that we can help them. Suppose through dreams, or things will not go well in our life because they are in distress, and because we were their family members. Remember, we have this responsibility to take our family also back to Godhead. So that's why we have this responsibility, that they are in distress, we have to do something about it, because we are we don't want to be selfish. We want to help everyone around us. Isn't it in ISKCON also what we are doing? We're not just practicing ourselves, but we're preaching, we're helping others, because we are selfless. So in the same way, for family, that's his first responsibility, to deliver them also, to help them also come out of this cycle of birth and death. And if they suffer in Pitralok or whatever, or maybe in Yamlok, wherever they are, because we are connected to them, we had this responsibility, we will also get affected. And if we are practicing well, they also get the benefit. So that's how it is, Mataji. Don't know if I made too much, expanded too much on it, but
yeah, you make sense. But when you think about it, we're also told to be detached. Don't get attached to your loved ones. They are your best, and you give them the best, and you forget about the others. The preaching is to do with everybody, to include the non-relatives, the non,
Definitely.
fallen souls. So this is very confusing, and it seems your existence as a human being, as they say, there is the best position to be in, is actually a never-ending one. It's a real struggle. It's you're trying to do good to save your soul, so you don't come back here, and then you are caught up with all these other responsibilities. This is why I'm confused with it all. When does it end? How do you get the benefit of your performance?
If we become a pure devotee, Mataji, Bhagavatam says it also. If we become a pure devotee, if we are on that path, our ancestors also get benefit. Our 21 generations get benefit. The 7 before, 7 after, they all get benefit. They all are taken back to Krishna, takes care of them. If we are sincere, and if we become a pure devotee, we have example
Yes,
of
I suppose
Maharaj.
it's also saying according to your performance, that's the kind of journey you will receive, the punishment or non-punishment. And so, because we know some of our relatives are so adamant, they don't want to be part of, and they blaspheme the movement. So, how can we reach out to them, even when you do make an effort?
Definitely, I completely understand because we all go through that at some point. But what we can do is to just pray for them, be compassionate. Isn't it what Nectar of Devotion says, that we should be compassionate towards those who are new, or who are maybe new to bhakti, or just very fresh, or may not practicing. We should be compassionate towards them. We should be friendly towards one who are on the same level, or we should learn from them who are higher than us, isn't it? So if they're in that level, we have to be compassionate towards them, because they are listening. They're listening to the mantra. They've listened it once. They, even if by mistake they chanted, Krishna will still accept them as the devotee. Krishna is so merciful. His heart is so big. So right now they're conditioned with these three modes of material nature. This conditioning we also had. They maybe in my past life I'd never heard anyone, and I used to blaspheme devotees. Why they do? Now I've become a devotee myself. Just giving an example. In the same way, maybe this is not the right time for them, but when the soul's journey, through the soul's journey, at some point, Krishna will help them. Krishna will guide them, and they will themselves come to Krishna consciousness, because we have this free will, right? Krishna doesn't want to force them. He can only send help and guide them, and save them. But because they have this free will, they're choosing to not choose Krishna right now. But every soul has their own journey, isn't it? But we can pray for them, and treat them as also as as part and parcel of Krishna. I know it's difficult what you're saying, that if it's family member, they don't want to practice, then what should we do? We can still chant for them, pray for them. And there are so many stories where the family members turned out to be more serious devotee later, after some years, than the devotee who were trying to preach to them. So it's just a matter of time and mercy of the Lord. And Krishna has planned for everyone, isn't it? So that's it, Mataji.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Haribol.
Thank you for the discussion. Any other questions? If not, then we will end today's session here, as it's already 9 o'clock. Thank you so much. Please forgive me if I've said anything wrong, or misguided, or been offensive. Please forgive me. I'm just learning. And thank you so much for your association. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you and discussing Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Kripa Sindhu Eva Cha Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavane
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha
Koti
Anantakoti
Vaishnava
Vaishnavrinda Ki
Ki
Jai
Jai.
Srila
That was
Prabhupada
wonderful
Ki
class. Thank you.
Jai
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bhagavatam
Bol.
Ki
Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. That was a
Thank you,
great class.
Mataji.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Thank
Krishna.
you,
you.
Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
everybody.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah, come on.